Good morning, everybody. I'm your host, Supreme Litigant, and I'd like to welcome everybody back to Smart Loc TV. If you haven't already, y'all already know the routine. Please go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscription button, and turn that notification bell on. I'll give y'all a few seconds to do that. All right. So today, I want to talk about something that I think is extremely important. If you are going to be, exercising your rights and litigating these cases yourself, pro se. This particular amendment, in my opinion, every American should know this amendment. This is the First Amendment that almost 99.99% of the time comes into play when anyone from the state or federal government comes into contact with you. You need to know this stuff, man. So you should be sending me an email, and I'll tell you why. I'm gonna show you this right quick. Do you see this right here? This is 788 pages of Fourth Amendment jurisprudence. I did not draft this, okay? So since I did not draft it, the equitable thing for me to do will be to give it to you for free. All right. I did not draft this. This guy right here, Robert C. Phillips, he's a retired district attorney. He drafted this document. I just found it online. He's out of California, but it doesn't matter that he's out of California. You need to have this document because this is Fourth Amendment jurisprudence. And almost everywhere, all over the country, the Fourth Amendment, let me rephrase that. Your state's so-called Fourth Amendment will be identical with the federal Constitution's Fourth Amendment, if that makes sense. It's going to be damn near identical. It's going to mean almost the same thing. So you should try to figure out which article in your Constitution is the equivalent of the Fourth Amendment. And you need to learn the Fourth Amendment, and you need to learn that article within your Constitution, within that state Constitution. So in California, it's Article 1, Section 13. See also the nearly identical California Constitution, Article 1, Section 13. In Alabama, I want to say it's Article 1, Section 5. Let me go back and see, because this is a document that I drafted from my ebook. Yeah, it's Article 1, Section 5 in Alabama. It's damn near identical. It's the same thing almost, y'all. It's about 99.99% identical. All right, you need to learn this stuff. All right, the reason you need to learn this stuff is because it is not these people's responsibility to protect your rights, except for the judiciary. It is the judiciary's responsibility to protect your rights because that is the people's court. The people created that court to adjudicate private rights. Private rights are the people's rights. All right, so if that doesn't make sense for y'all, I'm gonna say it to you this way. When the sovereign people of each of these so-called states created the judicial branch of government, they authorized that particular branch to adjudicate private rights. In other words, to protect their rights and adjudicate their rights, protect their rights, their property, so on and so forth like that. All right. Now, the legislature has also created administrative agencies. Okay, but they don't call these administrative agencies, not all of them. They just simply call them courts. Okay. These administrative agencies, generally speaking, do not adjudicate private rights. They adjudicate public rights, which is government rights, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's the distinction that you need to draw between these two. So if you want more information on that, I've done some videos on it on my YouTube channel. And I think I mentioned them in the previous video before this one. I'm not really, I don't know the title of the video, but I do believe I mentioned it in there. But the reason why you need to know the Fourth Amendment and the equivalent in your state constitution of the Fourth Amendment is because this right here. I'm going to read y'all this right here. Some of y'all probably didn't know this stuff. That's why I'm going to read it to you. You need to read cases also. That's what's going to tell you what your rights are. There are 3 categories of citizen police encounters. 1, consensual citizen police encounters requires officer, let me rephrase that, require officers to have your consent. 2, temporary detentions require officers to have reasonable suspicion. And 3, full-scale arrest require officers to have probable cause. I'm going to stop right there. Anytime you are not free to leave, you are arrested, okay? You are arrested. It does not matter if you are in handcuffs or not, all right? Would a reasonable person believe that she or he is not free to leave? If a reasonable person would believe that she or he is not free to leave, then as a matter of law, they're going to consider it an arrest. They're gonna reasonably conclude that you have been arrested. All right. So once they reasonably conclude that, then they're going to look to ascertain whether or not if the officer had either reasonable suspicion, which is predicated upon specific articulable facts that a crime has been, is being, or is about to be committed, or if the officer had probable cause, which is a mixed question of law and fact, meaning the facts of the case and the particular statute in which the officer is alleging that you violated will always determine if you have been lawfully arrested or unlawfully arrested, or lawfully detained or unlawfully detained in regards to reasonable suspicion. This is why you need to know what your rights are. I know when my rights are violated right then and there, generally speaking. And that's how y'all need to be. You have to read cases to understand this stuff. Okay, I was not always like this. I have read so many cases, y'all. Oh my God, it's crazy. I've read that many cases. I know what probable cause is and reasonable suspicion is off the top of my head. I don't even need to read the cases anymore because I've read so many and they all say the same damn thing. All right. Since not all citizen police encounters are seizures, the Fourth Amendment does not always apply. Encounters where the Fourth Amendment does not apply are called consensual encounters. During a consensual encounter, a citizen may either voluntarily comply with a police officer's request, notice that they use the word request and not order, or choose to ignore them because the Fourth Amendment's mandate of either reasonable suspicion or probable cause is not required. Why is it not required? Because the citizen is free to decline the officer's request or otherwise terminate the encounter. What encounter? The consensual encounter. This is why you need to read these cases. I'm going to read a little bit more, and then that's it. I'm going to read a little bit more about right here, and that'll be it. It is also important, just because a police officer approaches you on the street and asks you to answer some questions does not mean you are seized. In other words, it does not mean that you are arrested. It does not mean that you are not free to leave. It does not mean that you have been detained, so to speak. I'm just going to say arrested, though, because if you're not free to leave, you're arrested. All right. However, it can become a seizure when an officer, by means of physical, force, or show of authority has in some way restrained the liberty of a citizen. Simply stated, if you are arrested or detained, the Fourth Amendment applies. An arrest is defined as, and this is out of Corpus Juris Secundum, an arrest is the taking, seizing, or detaining of the person of another by touching or by any act which indicates an intention to take him into custody and subject the person arrested to the actual control and will of the person making the arrest, or any deprivation of the liberty of one person by another, or any detention of him for however short a time, without his consent and against his will, whether it was by actual violence, threats, or otherwise. All right. Notice that they say his consent. I want y'all to notice that, because you can consent to being arrested and you cannot consent to being arrested. But they want to make you think that you're crazy when you go to telling these police officers that you don't consent to this shit, especially during these so-called traffic stops. They are forcing you, okay? They're forcing you into some sort of agreement with these people. That's what they're doing. And they're not giving you full disclosure of what they're doing. They're just hiding this shit, and they're just operating off of these presumptions. Since you don't rebut them, you don't know what the hell they're talking about, so they're just going to move forward, because that's what they're doing. In Alabama, a few years ago, I'm not sure how long ago, but in Alabama, the traffic ticket was an affidavit, a summons, a complaint, and a bond, if I'm not mistaken. All right. And you were required to sign the traffic ticket. And a lot of people did not sign the traffic ticket. And since they didn't sign the ticket, they were taken to jail. So I'm guessing some people started realizing what happened. And so a way for them to navigate this potential exposure to their scheme, they amended the statute. And now it says that as soon as they, if I'm not mistaken, as soon as they hand you the traffic ticket, you are deemed to have given them a written bond, which is a presumption, by the way. I did a video on it. It's called A Traffic Stop is an Arrest, Part 1 and Part 2 on my YouTube channel. You should go and watch it, because I'm showing you the cases on there where they're actually saying what I just told you. Let me see what else. Give me a second, y'all. I'm gonna pause the video and I'll be right back. All right, y'all. Sorry about that. Back to this document right here. Okay. I'm not satisfied with the amount of emails that I have gotten requesting this document, because it's only been about 3 or 4. All you have to do is send me an email. And when I see the email, when I get time, I'll email you this document. There's no, I should have hundreds of emails requesting this document. This is 788 pages of just nothing but case law, y'all. It's breaking down everything in regards to the Fourth Amendment. Everything. So why aren't y'all emailing me and asking me for this document? It is your responsibility to know your rights. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. You need to know what your rights are. These people are going to take advantage of you every time if you don't know what your rights are. I'm just scrolling through the document. 788 pages, y'all. 788 pages is nothing but case law. If you're in California, you definitely need to request this document, because all of these cases in here are going to be from the Ninth Circuit or the California Appeals Court and Supreme Court and the U.S. Supreme Court. It's the same thing. You need to be, look, man, y'all need to send me some emails and be asking for this document. There's no excuse for you. If you're a follower on my channel, a subscriber to my channel, there is no excuse for you not to know what your Fourth Amendment rights are and the equivalent under your state constitution of the Fourth Amendment right. This ain't no excuse unless you just don't like to read. So look, man, that's going to be the end of this video. Y'all need to learn this stuff, man. So please, when y'all get time, send me an email, okay? And I will send you this document. All right, but make sure you subscribe to my channel first. You gotta subscribe first. Subscribe to the channel and then send me an email, and I'll send you this document. All right. So everybody enjoy your day. Peace. The Supreme Litigant is out.